Well, this is December 23rd, 2022. This is going to be our forecast for next year for 2023 for here in Phoenix Metro, Arizona. We have so much growth going on. We have some unstoppable trends, but we have a real estate slowdown. So how do we handle this? What do we do? What can we look forward to? And how can we place our capital? We're going to talk about what we see in real estate in general, and of course, the economy and some specifics here in Phoenix, Arizona, because the growth and the opportunity, when we're talking about long term opportunity here, pretty doggone phenomenal. So let me go to my very first slide. Let's just talk about that. So I'm calling this an unstoppable trend because this has been in play for a long time. We've known about this for about 20, 25 years, and we here in Phoenix have been accumulating properties in the area. But we have growth and growth corridors like nobody's business. Here we are right next door to California. And of course, California has all kinds of problems, and it's very, very difficult to do business with it. It's not only is it expensive, but you're overregulated, and it's just very, very awesome to do business. So what a lot of manufacturers have found is that they can actually offload in Long Beach, truck the goods here to Phoenix, Arizona, and distribute from Arizona, because we really have some of the finest transportation in the nation right here. And of course, metro-wise, we're growing. We're over 4.5 million people. We'll probably add another couple, 2-3 million to this. Plenty of water here, by the way. We get that question all the time. We have dams. We have more water than you think. So it's really not a problem for us. And we are really setting up for an enormous, enormous growth. So let me go back to this. Let's go to the next slide. And this is a great way for you to make some money. And this is long-term generational opportunities, because this trend is going to be in play for a really long time. Now, this is going on since 1999. We really didn't have much of a transportation, but for the last over 20, 25 years, we have been building and building and building. Our transportation system is pretty doggone awesome. Now, you can get around everywhere in the city. The loop is done. And of course, it opened up all this area out here, because this is really just ranches and some farmland. Same with out here, ranches and farmland, and right out here, ranches and farmland. This is the area we're really going to talk about, is on the western side through Surprise, Avondale, Litchfield Park, parts of Glendale, parts of Peoria. The growth is just phenomenal. It's not only is it phenomenal, but the Wall Street Journal just did a documentary on it because the growth is amazing. Currently, we're building warehouses all along that's the Route 303 here in Phoenix, Arizona. You can't get a slab, you can't get an industrial site, because they just aren't to be had, because everybody's already bought them, and they're not in any way going to give them up. But look what's happening. Wolf Sub-Zero just opened up here in Surprise. They're employing 900 people. Amazon's here, Dick's Sporting's good, UPS, Ball Jars, Red Bull. Just the beginning. And we have 40 warehouses under construction, and these aren't small warehouses. The warehouses that we're talking about are 500,000 square feet to over 1 million square feet. These are distribution hubs. Now, there's so much going on here. We're going to talk about this, but we're becoming a distribution hub, and you can distribute from Phoenix, Arizona. You can go north to Las Vegas and up through Utah and Salt Lake City. You can go east to Texas. And of course, you can go all through Arizona and still distribute back to California. So it's become a very, very good business decision to have a distribution center right here in Phoenix, Arizona. And of course, once that gets recognized and you bring all this amount of business coming in, these are long term. These have been on the books for a long time. They're in the process of doing it. And this is going to be 5 or 10 years of construction that we're going to have. So we have a really, really long-term trend, probably 20, 30, 40 years. And when you get this type of industrial growth, manufacturing growth, warehousing growth, retail growth, brings jobs. Lots and lots and lots of jobs. And when you have lots and lots of jobs, for our business, we provide rentals for people. This is just a great, great place for us to be buying properties and renting our properties to these workers, because this is just, employment is phenomenal. And these aren't small outfits. These are international companies. So let's go to my next slide and just talk about what else is going on here, and what kind of opportunities that we have. We've got the intermodal from the BNSF. They just won 3,500 acres from the Bureau of Land Management here in Maricopa County, and they're added to their 500 they already had. So they're going to build an intermodal transportation hub of over 4,000 square feet. They're going to bring in rail and they're going to bring in freight, and they're going to be another distribution. So we're going to not only have trucks coming in, we're also going to have rail coming in, and it's going to be another distribution center, very similar to what we have going on in the 303. So the whole area is literally going to explode. These are not, small companies. These are companies that make plans for 30, 40 years in advance. So this is what's going on. This is just great, great news for us. They just got this, so this is going to be under construction very, very shortly. And this is already in construction. That's the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation is building 8 chip plants in North Phoenix, right on the border with Surprise, right along to our major internet I-17 and the 303. And they're building 8 chip plants. Now, another supporting plant, it's just opened up, and they're going to start with 4 plants to support these 8. Now, President Biden was here a week or two ago, and he went out to the plant, and the plant announced that they're going to quadruple their facility and add another $40 billion. So they're going to have $40 to $60 billion worth of investment into the region. So this is going to be an enormous chip manufacturing facility, going to employ thousands and thousands of people. And of course, this is not entry-level jobs. These are going to be very, very high-paying, good jobs. And this is where we want to invest, and this is ongoing. So this is going to take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years. They have a long-term commitment to this. So what a great, great opportunity for us. Here they are, facilities that are going to be bringing in $50 billion. They're going to bring high-tech stuff in that we have really very well-paid people, brilliant people. They're going to stimulate. You're going to have all these support facilities. They're going to be supporting the chip plants. They're all going to need workers, and they're going to be high-paid workers, and they're all going to need a place to live. What a great place for you to invest. This is just an absolutely outstanding place for you to invest. This is looking where we look 10, 15, 20 years. Remember, I've been investing in Phoenix, Arizona since the 80s. I think I bought my first rental in 1983. So I'm going on 40 years with these things. They've been absolutely outstanding. Looks to me like we're going to have another 20 or 30 or 40 years coming at us here. So probably a pretty good place for you to start thinking that you want to position some dollars. So let's take a look further what we have going here. We just completed the 202. So not only do we have along the 303, but the whole South 202 has just been opened up. And I'm telling you that we're putting in manufacturing and industrials, housing. You get good neighborhoods, good schools, good transportation, good retail. So what's there not to like about this? So what a great generational opportunity this is. We're looking in 24 to 48 hours, 48 months that Metro Phoenix is just going to give you a generational opportunity. It is going to be a little bit of time lag, so this is going to be our timing. So how do we do this? So I'm going to operate, and we're going to talk about the next. But I'm going to tell you, all you need if you're just starting out is good credit, a little bit of income, and a little bit of down payment. So you need to be able to prove that you can afford a new loan. You have to have good credit so that the lenders will give you a loan, and you need some down payment. And you, my friend, will be starting to do very, very well. However, a recession is coming. There isn't any ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going to be a severe recession. So we have all this growth potential coming to us, and at the same time, we've got a recession that's just starting. So how do we reconcile this? And it's not going to be a run-of-the-mill recession either. This is going to be a bad recession. So yes, we're going to have some opportunity here. We're going to have to go through some bad times to get to it. It is on the other side. However, we do need to prepare for that. So let's just talk about that. These guys are the world bankers, and they're coordinating this. They absolutely positively know what they're doing. Everyone saw the Fed doesn't know anything. They're so stupid. There's no stupid people at that level. These are brilliant people who have made a plan and we decided that they're going to wring out inflation. They caused the inflation, of course. I mean, what do you think when you put 10 or 11 trillion dollars into an economy in a year or two? What do you think is going to happen? However, they do have a plan, and they are going to execute it. There's not going to be any pivot here. They're going to keep raising rates, and not only that, it's global. This guy over here on the right, Ben Bernanke, a former Fed chairman himself, been running around talking about the Taylor rule. And the Taylor rule, of course, is a 90s calculation. And if you use the Taylor rule, they said that we should be at 11% Fed funds rate. Well, 11% would vary us. But he's out on a talking tour saying 11. So when you get to 5, 6, 7, or 8, it's not going to feel so bad. You say, oh, we could have been 11. So that's going on. But I do tell you, it's global. So here we are. They're even writing newspaper articles on it. The Bank of New Zealand has admitted that they're engineering a recession. We've got that going on. The Bank of England's raising rates, and they're warning. And look at this warning. Look at this warning. They're warning that this is going to be the worst recession in 100 years. 100 years. The worst recession in 100 years in England. And they're only at 3%. These guys aren't even halfway there. I think they're going to go 6 or 7%. So I think they're really going to be real serious about this. So if you think that it's going to be transitory, I don't think so. If you think they're going to pivot, don't think so. I think what we have here is a Fed that's not going to make a mistake like Volcker did, where we had a double recession. He brought inflation down, but he didn't kill it. These guys want to stomp it out and kill it and grind it out. So what really kills inflation, recessions kill inflation 100%. This is a foolproof plan. You just destroy demand, and it will automatically kill recession. So let me go to my next slide here, and let's just talk about that. Now, this is true. So Chairman Powell is saying the full effects of our rapid tightening so far are yet to be felt. That's true. It takes 9 to 15 months just for the first one to be felt. It was March of 2022. It's only 10 months away. We're just all the slowdown that you feel now, it's from the first tightening. We've got more tightening to go. We just tightened again in December, going to probably tighten again in February. I can't see them stopping. Might slow down. I don't see them pivoting. They might stop for a little while and see what this does. But I think we're going to go considerably higher. And I think you need to really start thinking of, how am I going to survive this and prosper? Because we can make a lot of money on. When you get into this kind of turmoil, they breed a lot of opportunities open up for us. Now, here's the problem. We live on liquidity, particularly in my business, mortgage-backed securities, which is what the Federal Reserve has been buying, feed our business. And they are stopping and slowing down tremendously. The Federal Reserve is also removing $90 billion a month of liquidity. $90 billion a month. They were adding $90 billion. Now they're taking $90 billion out. That is over $1 trillion. This is like incomprehensible when you start talking trillions. $1 trillion of liquidity. So it's interesting is that they had the first rate increase in March, and liquidity peaked in March. Remember, March, that's an interesting date for us, but that's when it peaked. So this is when it all starts. And look at this. So this is talking about equities. I'm not an expert. I'm absolutely positively an expert in real estate and investment real estate. But I got this slide from Zero Hedge just last week. It illustrates perfectly. Look at this cycle. You can just see the cycle. Look at this. And the cycle goes up, and these are inflows into the equity funds, like ETFs and like the S&P ETF, the Dow ETF, whatever, housing ETF, gold ETF. So people are putting money away into these, mostly equities, and you can see the pop. It goes up, and then it stops, and then it comes down. Bottoms for a little bit, comes up, and then tops here, and then comes down. Goes up again, tops, comes down. Now, this one came down pretty severely. This is during the recession. And then all that liquidity got put into the economy, and look what happened. Where do you suppose a lot of that money went? Look at this. It just skyrocketed, So if you don't think that we have a bubble in a lot of these asset classes, You really just need to look at the charts and you can see it. Look at we have a double, maybe well, probably better than a double from where these other peaks were at. Look what it's doing here. This is a topping process. And what happened here when we did a topping process? What happened here when we did a topping process? Well, it rolled right over, and this one went down below where down to the bottom. Actually, we're taking money out. I'm thinking that's what's going to happen because it's liquidity. When there's no liquidity, business really, really slows down. So listen to that. They're taking liquidity out. When you take liquidity out, there's no more fuel. It's like you got gasoline in your car, and when that gasoline tank is empty, the car doesn't go anymore. So liquidity is fuel. They're removing the fuel from the economy, and you need to pay attention. What is going to happen with that? Well, what's going to happen with it? Now we had an election here last month, and of course, the administration wanted to make sure that it looked like the job market was doing really, really well. We've been talking about the fact that there's been this big discrepancy between the establishment survey, which is basically a Bureau of Labor Statistics. They use a model. They model things, and this is what it should be. And then there's the household survey. And the household survey, of course, is they pick up the phone and they call and they say, this is a household survey. Who's working in the house? How many are working? Is it a full time? Is it a part time job? Do you have more than multiple jobs? And between the Bureau of Labor Statistics and a household survey was a pretty big discrepancy. Back in June, we thought it was 1.5 million, but Bureau of Labor Statistics kept saying, "Oh no, jobs are fabulous. This is that green line. Jobs are fabulous." Now we get here to November, we find out that oh my gosh, we missed, and it might be a 2.7 million job loss. You get that 2.7 million job loss, not job gain, job loss, and not just a few, 2.7 million. So if you think that the economy is slowing and it feels like it's slowing, well, it is slowing. There's 2.7 million jobs that have been lost. And they're not just entry level. You know who's losing jobs? High tech, high paying, middle management. A lot of the big companies are getting rid of a lot of their white collars. There's been, I think Michael Burry said it's going to be a white collar recession. Boy, I think he may very well be right. We saw in November 76,000 jobs just in high tech were lost. A lot of them out here in the West, and 58,000. A lot of them through Silicon Valley, of course. But this is a trend. This is a long-term trend. It's going to spike. We're going to have a lot of people lose their jobs. You need to start thinking about this. What are you going to do? And they were good jobs. These are really good jobs. They're high-tech, middle management, reasonably well-paying jobs. Amazon, 10,000 people. Hewlett Packard, 4,000 to 6,000. Facebook, 11,000. Banks are laying people off. Credit Suisse just laid off 9,000. Goldman Sachs is talking about laying off and not paying bonuses as much as they should. You need to pay attention to this. If you don't get your bonus, or you only get half of your bonus, you're expecting, to get $10,000 bonus. You only get $5,000. Well, you don't feel like you're as generous as you had. So that affects your spending. It certainly affects your income, your ability to qualify. So if your income got cut down by 30%, well, guess what? That means you can only qualify for X amount of dollars. And if we start raising interest rates, it really compresses down what you can afford. And it's going to affect a lot of luxury homes because those are a lot of discretionary money. So if that discretionary money starts going away, luxury homes are going to suffer. Now, entry level, not so much, because everybody needs a place to live. That's our wheelhouse, by the way. We're in the entry level. By the way, I could really use your help. Speaking of this, I could really use your help. YouTube wants me to get more subscribers. So if you like what we bring and some of the information we bring, please subscribe. We're not going to sell your name and number to anybody, but they like to know that we've got subscriptions. You're welcome to comment on these. If you like them, give me a thumbs up. It just helps us so we can get some of this marketing done, and we like to get the message out, because I think we give some pretty good information. So let me just go to my next slide, and let's just talk about what else is going on, because this has been, oh my gosh, this has just been an amazing, amazing week. Now we're going into what's really, really meat and potatoes for my business. The builders, the poor builders, now they've been building like crazy. They've had so many people want to buy new homes, and they have been very, very careful about what to build. They wouldn't let anybody buy, and they certainly wouldn't let any investors in. But you had to be approved. You had to have your reserves up. Your house had to be sold, and they'd start the house. And of course, there's been all kinds of shortages. So, a typical house 4 to 6 months is now taking 12 to 18 months to get these properties built. And what's happened in the 12 to last 6, 8, 9 months? Rates went from 3% to 6.5. Well, these people can't qualify. And not only that, we're starting to lose jobs. So here you are, you're building a house for someone, they lose their job. They can't take that house. You built it for them. It wasn't a spec, and the builder optimism has just collapsed, not dropped, just literally collapsed. And we're starting to see here in Phoenix, we're starting to see lots and lots of specs. Now, these builders did not build these homes for spec. They built these homes for a particular buyer. That buyer went into their showrooms and picked out the cabinets and the countertops and the flooring, and they did it for them. Now they can't qualify. So we're getting lots and lots of opportunities. We've had homes that have been dropped 40,000, 50,000, 75,000. I even saw a home, a brand new home, an entry level home dropped down into $340,000 from 450, over $100,000 that property came down. Brand spanking new homes, and the builders are scared to death. They want to sell these properties, which leads us to opportunity. So here we are. We can buy a brand spanking new home. Full tile roof, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, washer, dryer, refrigerator, window treatments, front yard, backyard landscape. They're turnkey, and the builders are reducing their prices below what they've already sold them for, sometimes up to $100,000, but a lot of them 50, 60, $70,000 below what they've been selling them for. So they're competing with 20-year-old existing homes. You can buy an existing home here in Phoenix or, in Surprise area, where we're talking about the 303, for like 375 to 425. Well, now you can buy a brand new home just a little further out for 360, 375, 395, brand new, full warranty on them, absolutely brand spanking new. So what great opportunity. But again, we're running into a recession, so maybe it's going to go lower. I don't know, but at the moment, it's just a very, very good opportunity. Now, what will happen, I will tell you, is that the builders will quit building. So whatever excess inventory they have, they will liquidate it, and it typically goes in, 5, 6 months. So if they start now and they start liquidating, because they're probably not going to be building anymore, um, they'll have their entire portfolio gone by like April, May, June next year. So have an opportunity, but the question is it going to get cheaper? I'm not quite sure. Let me just go to my next slide. Let's just talk about that and see where this is heading. Which leads me back to my model. So my model is early this year. I did recorrect that. Charles Nooner and I talk a bit. He told me that the cycle was turning. I wasn't sure, and I'm sure he is. It certainly is. So I've gone back. I've gone back into the Federal Reserve electronic data system using just Phoenix, and I'll tell you, I was astounded that the cycle prior to this one was 19 and a half years long. This one is 16 and a half years, and that's 36 divided by 2, 18 years. We are completing. So we're here. We're here on a cycle. We're up high. So we're into the completion processing right now. So completion doesn't get to a point and just stop. It's kind of a little bit of bouncing around here. Actually, there's two peaks if we really get down into our data. The first peak is the one where everybody is done, and it rolls over, and we have a waterfall effect. So we are here. We need to start thinking where we're going to go. Now, this is what happened in 2005 and 2008. So this is very, very important data that we're going to look at right here. So again, if you look closely at this, there's two peaks. This is the peak right here, Q1 of 2006. It peaked in Phoenix. This is the first peak, and this is where all the momentum was. This is where the multiple offers were at. This is where people were paying over list price. There was so much enthusiasm, and people just had to have a house, and then it stopped. In 2006, it starts to slow down, and here is the top. That's the second peak. By the time you get to the second peak, virtually everybody who is going to buy a house has bought a house, and things start to roll over. And of course, now we got rising interest rates on top of that. So it's really demand destruction. And then you get to this peak. Now, from here to here is about 18 months. Now we are 10 months into it already. So let's keep that in mind. So once we got to Q4 of 2007, right past that was 2008, and the waterfall event started, and it got picked up speed. And all through 2008 and into the beginning of 2009, we had prices declining. And of course, we had a huge bubble here in Phoenix. We were like the poster child for bad business. I mean, talk about enthusiasm, and this time is different. It was really, really awful. And then you get back here, and this is probably one of the best opportunities for you to purchase a property there'll ever be, is right here. That's when you get retracement on this. So let me go to where we are now. I want you to pay real close attention, because this is the cycle right now. So we got 2006 right here, and that was March of 2022. What happened in March of 2022? Liquidity stopped going up, and we had the first rate increase. And in April of 2022, we went our interest rates inverted. So right here we peaked, just like we did in 2006. We peaked Q1 of 2022. We peaked. And this is the most important one, because right here, this is where everybody is basically done. Now we'll drift up a little bit, and we'll probably go up here to this peak will be Q1 of 2023. So that means like January, February, March, we're going to peak. So we're going to have a reasonably good market between now and first quarter of 2023. After that, all bets are off, because I think we're going to start declining. And I think we'll start declining into Q3. Now it could go to Q1 of 2024. I'm thinking it's probably going to be earlier, August, September, October, and we're going to start getting a waterfall event, because I think our home prices are too high. I think we're certainly going to see a retracement. We're down probably 14-15% here in Metro Phoenix. This little section here indicates we'll probably go up a little bit. So we're down 14%. On a retracement, we'll probably go back up a little bit. So maybe we're only down 4 or 5 or 6%. But then I think we come down and we complete. And I think that completion is probably going to be 40 or 45%, I think. So we'll know you get along here. And I'm calling this the BlackRock event, because BlackRock has got $52 billion just waiting for this event in cash. They got $52 billion in cash, and they want to buy single family homes. And this is just the retracement period. This is when you need to buy, right here. If they want to buy, you should be buying too. We do have some builders, so you just have to understand, you need to talk to me or talk to your financial advisor and see if it's good for you, because there is no one size fits all on this. Each individual is different. We've got tax consequences. We've got principal reductions. Some people need the income, some people don't. So really talk to us. This will be an opportunity to pick up some new homes at pretty good pricing. But then you do have the potential of it dropping off. So we just need to balance that. I'm not quite sure how we do that. We can go into a hedging strategy, which Dr. Nenner and I talked about. And you can hedge. You need to talk to your financial advisor, but we can hedge our real estate portfolio. So if you are interested in that, we can possibly talk about that. So let me just go to my next slide. This is me. I'm in with West USA. They hold my real estate license. They do our back office work. They make sure we're in compliance. You're welcome to reach me at the main switchboard, 602-942-4200. And we can talk. We can schedule a conference. We'll talk to you, your spouse, your financial advisor. Try and figure out what's good for you, what kind of exposure we have, what kind of exposure you can take, how much risk you can take. When you get to be my age, we don't like risk. We do like cash flow, though. So we are getting very, very good cash flow with our properties, and it's sheltered cash flow. So really, really helps, but not good for absolutely everybody. We do see a huge opportunity coming to us. But again, it doesn't necessarily fit everybody. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's getting close to Christmas time. It's still Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah to you. Merry Christmas coming to you. A wonderful New Year, and let's make 2023 just prosperous. Now, you're welcome to always make comments to us. You're welcome to reach us, and we can make some plans. We schedule something for you. My very, very best. Bye bye now.